Totally agree with you. All right, it is time.
I want one of those hats.
It was pretty
kind of
sick,
nice.
man.
I don't even know. It looks like it's a B.
Yeah, beast mode.
It's a B with it looks like an M too, and an L. I got it. There's an M, and the little things are L's, and then it shapes into a B. I got it now.
It is pick time.
Took me a while.
We got the New England Patriots, the Seahawks, in Scottsdale, Arizona. It's going to be playing at 6:30 p.m. on Sunday. If you folks didn't know, I'm sure everybody knows this.
Halftime show is Katy Perry.
Which I am
with special guest Lenny Kravitz.
Lenny Kravitz. Can you do?
They're going to sing American Woman.
Can he do the Justin Timberlake thing for me? And with the Janet Jackson.
Dude, that's going to be the most watched thing because somebody's just wanting one of them bad boys.
I'm crossing my fingers like, please be the
Let it
wardrobe
go. Let it go.
Yes!
Please show your boobies.
Katy Perry is so hot. All right. Just get back to business. And
Be the one last year was one every girl watched. This year will be one every dude watches. Last year was pretty good, though.
It was.
Last year's was pretty good.
Yeah, that was the best thing about that Super Bowl. But
yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. All right. Mr. Carter, go. And I know you've been giving your answers on the podcast for a week, but go ahead and explain why.
The winner of Super Bowl 49 said it at the beginning of the year, all the way back when, before it started, and I'm saying it again now. You're back-to-back Super Bowl champions, the Seattle Seahawks. His defense wins championships.
There you go. All right. My team is not there, so
I wasn't changing at all.
He didn't change at all. So you know the funny thing was, man, I was so enraged.
But one of the teams that you had in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. But
there?
Yeah, the teams I had is there. I'm a little enraged that I even consider listening to this listening to the Super Bowl radio. But I say, no, this is football. I get over it.
Me and you're going to end up going somewhere and watching it, or staying right at the house and doing something here and watching it.
Pretty much.
We'll figure it out on Sunday.
Seattle is just it's so dominant, man. And I always said that in the conference that they play in, the NFC is always a beast. That conference, you literally could have three or four teams could have came out of that conference and represented this team, this conference. And Seattle, with all the adversity that they've been through, they're just really they got hit many times in their season.
Mm-hmm.
Percy Harvin.
Injuries to Wagner and Bennett. And, yep.
Then the one where they was just down 16-0.
The Rams game.
The Rams game, but they was down 6-0 against Green Bay.
Yep, Green Bay.
I just feel like Seattle's going to win this, and they're going to win this.
Especially after that Green Bay game, I think is when you got sucked into the.
I did
to the Seattle mantra.
I saw that because Green Bay is a great team.
Oh yeah,
they are a great team, and I feel for years to come, Green Bay is going to be knocking at this door. And probably represent NFC for many years to come, on and off with Seattle and other teams. And like they're going to get there. This is a great team that they play. But Seattle is going to win this. I'm going to say 27-20 because I'm going to give some respect to New England because it's going to be a better game than it was last year.
Now, who's your MVP?
My MVP.
Who at the end of the day, either side of the ball, is going to be named MVP?
I think it's going to be offensive player this time, and I really feel like I think Marshawn Lynch is going to get this one. I feel like he's going to, because as you see, I know the numbers are a little misconstrued, whatever, but there's still some weakness in that rush defense of New England.
There's a lot.
Yeah, so that's one area you want to hit. That you can, because you can get to that mid level and to the cornerbacks, and you're gonna put a lot of pressure on them. And then you gotta respect Russell running game too, because he get out where you're gonna get for the pass. You're not gonna spot me. I'm gone. Mm-hmm. Marshawn Lynch is gonna have. I'm gonna say he's gonna have 120 yards, and he's going to have one touchdown, and I think it'll be solid. Russell is going to play a big part of this game too. I think he's going to score the other 2 touchdowns. They get a couple field goals and knock it out there. So, who's your MVP?
I'm going with Russell. I think Russell's going to end up having that efficient game. I think he's going to bounce back from that other game, and I'm thinking he's going to have about 230 throwing, but I think he's going to have about 120 on the ground, and I think that's going to be that key thing that he's going to be able to do and exploit. I think he's going to end up. I think they're going to be so focused on stopping Marshawn that he's going to end up being able to get the edge a lot of times, and he's going to end up with a pretty big game on the ground as well.
Okay, now we'll definitely
and look for Luke Wilson to get a touchdown in there as well.
Okay. This is something that we have to say because if our prediction is true, this is the Patriots going back to the Super Bowl and losing again.
Again. They're just doing it one game later than they usually do. It's just after watching that Green Bay game, I know a lot of people are picking the Patriots. A lot of people.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But after watching that Green Bay game and seeing, I know look at what they did to the Colts. The Colts, to me, the Colts are one of the most, I see them twice a year. They are one of the most overrated hockey football teams I've ever seen because their defense is absolutely horrible. They're not very good on defense. They're Andrew Luck and everybody else. If Andrew Luck gets going and they're able to get some points on you and make you play from behind, they're good. They ran into a hurt Peyton Manning. They ran into a Peyton Manning who just wasn't herself, and Denver for some reason went away from the run too soon. Yeah. That's the only reason the Colts were even in that game. The Colts to me shouldn't have even been in the AFC Championship game. You can go on that fluky crap no matter what. I don't care. The Colts shouldn't have even been there, done that. The AFC Championship game was legit the week before when they played the Ravens. That was the AFC Championship game. Because whoever won that game was going to win the next game. I didn't care who was playing in that next game. Whoever won that one was going to win that next one. Yeah. But you can say, well, they look dominant against the Colts. Oh, whatever. This is a completely different animal than what you ran into against the Colts. These guys can play defense. Colts can't sneeze defense. Colts can't even spell defense.
And that's the thing. So if you think you had to deal with Suggs, you got to deal with Wagner and all those other boys on the defense side of the ball that can be able to control the run.
The closest people that the Patriots played in the playoffs are the Ravens. Mm-hmm. But the Seattle defense is a lot younger and a lot better in the secondary.
So not only that you got to face Forsett, you're facing Marshawn Lynch.
Exactly. And Forsett had a good day against
the
Patriots.
So you're facing better talent against this team. And Seattle's still coming in. They made minimal changes on the defense side of the ball. They made a few. Yeah. So
but they play, and they don't go out of their way to do anything different. They play the same way over and over. Just look at the last 5 minutes of the Packers game. Mm-hmm. They didn't do nothing out of the ordinary. They ran their same offense. They handed the ball off. Marshawn got off on a few times. They threw the one little pass to Marshawn that they tried to hit earlier in the game that they missed on. And they ended up getting it, and that put them right back into the game. They do not change, and they do not get flustered. Nothing on that team changes whatsoever.
That's why I say this is, to me, the NFC, and I compare this to the NBA. The NFC is like the Western Conference, and the AFC is like the Eastern Conference to me. It's really, I think it's that crazy because there's so much parity in NFC, but Seattle was still able to survive this and did a good job navigating through this because there's a lot of competition. Like last year, they was in a dogfight with San Francisco, right?
The San Francisco game, right up until the end of the game.
Then the Super Bowl come around, they spanked my Broncos pretty badly. That's why I say the AFC is that little. I mean, they got a few good teams, but the NFC got some talent.
And the NFC, a lot of their teams are built on the defensive side of the ball. Mm-hmm. The AFC's only got like a couple of teams that are built for the defensive side of the ball. When you have like the Texans and the Ravens, well, the Texans really one guy. Yeah. But the Ravens, teams like and Steelers, teams like that are built off defense, and this is why the consistent theme of almost all the Super Bowls is the team with a better defense wins these games. Mm-hmm.
So I'm agree with you. I think the Seahawks is going to win this, and I mean we'll see what happens because they got to play the game. I mean, me and Kevin definitely recap this.
But I think it should be super close. I think it should be I think it should be a close, very well fought game.
Yeah, and the reason I think this will be a close game than last year's Super Bowl because Bill Belichick is a mastermind. John Foster is a great coach,
and he's a great defensive mind.
Right. Don't get me wrong. John Foster is a wonderful coach. But Bill Belichick is a one of a generation type of coach.
Well, yeah, John Fox wanted to put his stamp on one side of the ball. He's a defensive coach, and he only focused on that because he thought he had Peyton on the other side. So he just takes away from being an offensive coach.
Yeah.
Belichick has his hands in everything.
Yes.
And that's the key to being a good coach is having your hands in everything, and stop trying. Especially if you're having your hands in everything where you're good at it. Mm-hmm. Don't put your hands in everything if you're smug at it. This guy puts his hands in everything and has attention to details in everything because he's that good.
Great. Agreed. So, well, that should do it for us, ladies and gentlemen.
If we're wrong, don't send us nothing.
just. I'm
amazed he picked with me this time.
Yeah,
he figured I'm right. I've been right enough. He better pick with me.
My eyes was open at that Green Bay game, and
with you sitting there in stunned silence.
Stunned silence, and just what they have done, man, it was just very impressive. So, all right, well, that should do it for us, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you do follow us on Twitter. You can find us at Balls Not Court. You can find me at CP.
You can find me at Kevin C2415.
All right, make sure you do visit our page. Go to inthemindofcp.podomatic.com that have all of our podcast and content up there. As well, you can go to our Facebook page. You can just go to the search bar and type in Balls Not Court Podcast, and you'll see me and Kevin lovely faces up there. And you can like the page, go from there. We're on many other sites as well. You can go to iTunes, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Windows, Zune, and many other sites that you can Google us at. Just type in Balls Not Court Podcast, and you'll find many of our sites that we're excluded on. So make sure you do go visit Custom Cuts, corner of Lynn, Turner, and Dunn Avenue.
You almost said it.
I know, almost. You just talk to Mr. Chris Parker up there and mention Balls Not Court Podcast, and you'll get the $10 haircut. So he'll take care of you if you need to get shaped up. And like me, which I need to get shaped up, make sure you go see him and get him taken care of. So that'll get us all set up well. So, but that should do it for us. We will be back on Monday or sometime to recap the Super Bowl. And
Monday.
And as Kevin said, Monday we'll discuss everything as the Super Bowl and what we're looking for as far as free agents.
We'll live cast during the Super Bowl.
There you go.
No, we won't, because I want to watch the game.
So we'll be focused a little bit more on football, and then we'll be transitioning a little bit more focused on basketball. NBA All-Star Weekend's coming up, and let you know that they already picked the teams for the USA versus Worlds.
It'll mark the year anniversary of the podcast.
There you go. So yeah, we'll be a year. And shout out, I know I'm being my homer here. Shout out to my Magic players going. Kevin Boone. Shout out to Effort Payton, Victor Oladipo. They made the USA roster for the USA versus World Rising Star competition. And Victor Oladipo in the dunk contest, the Sprite dunk contest. So it should be fun to watch as a Magic fan for myself. But hopefully, as far as reserves, if my boy Nick Vucevic can get in as a reserve, that'd be great. But we'll have to wait and see what they pick star tomorrow for reserves. That should do it for us. Thank you for listening to the Balls Not Court Podcast. Speaking with Kevin Carter, this is Cortez Paul. Have a wonderful evening, folks. Take care.